I'm the Simple Car Guy, and if you haven't seen the first video, well, this is my overheating BMW i8 that I bought at an auction. Of course, it was listed as run and drive, with minor dents and scratches as the only issue, but unfortunately, it overheated on my first test drive. As the first step in troubleshooting this issue, I used a topology scanner to get a visual idea of what is happening. My theory so far was damaged wiring, as I saw plenty of trouble codes showing line disconnection and short circuit to B+. I was expecting to see most of the codes in the same module, or at least in the same communication network, but to my surprise, the issues were spread all over different modules. So I concluded that the issues were not necessarily related to each other and will need to be investigated individually. Obviously, I wanted to solve the overheating issue that prevented me from driving the car first, so I concentrated on the 1D2401 trouble code, which tells us that the thermostat has a short circuit to B+. This is a common problem in other BMWs, and the solution is to replace the thermostat. On this BMW i8, the thermostat and the coolant pump are sold as one unit, and this is what I'm replacing in this video. I figured this would be a simpler first step than trying to find a short in the wiring harness. Before we do anything, I'm going to disconnect the high voltage system. So it's just this connector right here. So it just pulls out like that. And if we get in the car, we should have a message saying that the high voltage battery has been disconnected. The first step in replacing the coolant pump is to drain the coolant, but of course we have to get there first. After jacking up the car, putting it up on jack stands, removing the wheel and the fender liner, I finally had my first look at what I'm dealing with. And now we should have access to the coolant pump and the thermostat somewhere in there. I'm not really sure where it is exactly at the moment, but apparently we should be able to do it from here. Seems pretty difficult to access, so hopefully I can get this done by myself. Let's get to it. BMW technically wants you to drain the fluid from the front part of the car, but that seemed like unnecessary work since I will need access under the engine anyway. So I removed the stiffening plate in the back instead. All right, after a million screws, this should drop now. All right. Wow, that's pretty heavy. And now we finally have a look under the engine. With that removed, we now have access to the coolant hoses running from the front of the car to the rear. It's important to understand that this car has two coolant circuits, a low temp coolant circuit and a high temp coolant circuit, and we will be draining both of them. So these are the two coolant lines that I've disconnected, and here's the reasoning for it. So this big one right here, that goes all the way up there, which connects to the coolant pump. And this smaller one, that goes to this pump right here, which then goes to the computer right there. The computer I'm talking about here is the Range Extender Electrical Machine Electronics, or REME, also known as the Electric Motor Electronics, or EME, which needs to be removed in order for us to have access to the coolant pump. Now that the coolant has been drained, at least locally, I can remove these coolant lines from this whole EME unit. I think I got that one. Now I should be able to pull it out. Usually it's not that easy, but let's see. Okay, that one's coming. Okay, that's coming off. That one done. So now I should be able to access the clip underneath and do the same for the other line. There it is. I think that's good enough for now. All right, so the second hardest part of removing this computer is unplugging this high voltage cable. So I moved this part forward, and now this is supposed to come up. It kinda doesn't. Been doing this for like 15 minutes. Like, you don't want to stick a screwdriver in there to lift it up, but I feel like that could work. Oh, hey, there it is. Whew. I have already disconnected the ground. It was connected to this rail right here, and I think that's pretty much it. There's also one low voltage connector over there that I disconnected. All right, so I'm underneath now, and we're looking at the last high voltage connector. So I just took off this interlock or interconnect or whatever it is to basically disable the high voltage in this area, even though I've disabled the high voltage for the entire car. I've also removed 3 bolts, so this one, that one, and there's one right there. So now it should come off. I'm just gonna carefully lift it off, so now I can wiggle all of that out, I'm sure. There it is. Now I think the whole, oh, that sucks. Oh, there it is. Whoa. That was a job. And now that we have the entire computer unit removed, as you can see, we have plenty more space to get to our coolant pump. On this BMW i8, the coolant pump is mechanical. Unlike many other BMWs that have an electric coolant pump. That means we need to remove the drive belt from the coolant pump pulley. Now we should have much better access to the tensioner, which is just right there. You can see it in frame. I'm using this 15 mil on the tensioner. So that just goes right there. And then you can move it into place and then put a little lock. You can see it from here. I just put a little nail in there. So that nail is holding the tensioner in place. And now I can move the tensioner. See, it moves back and forth, releasing the tension from the belt. And now I should be able to remove the belt from the pulley. There it is. I'm able to remove the belt. I'm just gonna put it down. This is a hard job. So now it's time to remove the 2 coolant pipes. I just unlocked it right here. This is what we're doing. We're removing this big one. And then we have the small one and 1 electrical connection. And that's pretty much it. With some pulling, the hose came off. So now we have to get that smaller one right there. That one removed. And the electrical connection. Now we just have to get all of the bolts. Easier said than done. All right, so all 7 bolts have been removed. There's 3 at the bottom, 3 at the top. There's one right there. Oh, probably can't see it. One through that hole. And the hardest one was actually behind that plastic thermostat housing. Super difficult to get to, but I think I got all 7 of them. So now it should technically just come off. Oh, there it is. Woo, I got it. And there you go. The coolant pump has been removed. Let's see what it looks like. I mean, honestly, it looks pretty good. Maybe the electronics went bad. That would be ideal. Otherwise, it looks good. All right, so here I have the 2 coolant pumps. One thing I have noticed is that this one is going out. You can hear it's making a pretty gnarly noise. This is a new one. No noise at all. But I also wanted to check it electronically to see if there is a problem. I don't really know if this is a sensor or if it's a trigger for the thermostat or what it is exactly, but I wanted to check and see the resistance on the old one versus the new one and see if there is any difference. So just gonna touch the 2 leads. I don't know if you can see, but looks like we have 0.6 ohms. And then if we check the new one, the resistance is like 10.2. That gives me a little bit of hope. I hope that that is the issue and it will solve my car overheating. But of course, we'll only know after I've installed this one, put everything back together, and drove the car for a while. So yeah, let's get this one installed. To prep the mating surface on the engine block, I use a little bit of this to remove any of the dirt and grime and whatever other stuff was on it to make it as flat as possible. And then I've just cleaned it off with a rag, and now we're ready to put the new part in. All right, gotta be very careful. Make sure we get it on properly. All right, first bolt hand tight, so it shouldn't move. All right, well, I'm gonna put the rest of the bolts in and then we'll put the belt on. So now the hard part is to actually use correct specs for the aluminum bolts. As you can see, we have to go in this sequence: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. which is fine, except they're very difficult to access. So hopefully I can get my torque wrench in there. And the torque spec for this is 3 Newton meters, which is super light. What I didn't show you on video here is that after torquing the bolts to 3 Newton meters, you still have to do another 90 degrees of rotation. All right, all the bolts are now torqued to spec, so I can put the belt back on. This might be a bit harder, so I have to align it on the lower pulley better, I think. So it falls into the grooves, and that will give me just a bit more belt. Let's see, is that gonna be enough? Yay, there it is. All right, perfect. So now I'm just gonna make sure it's all aligned everywhere, and then I can release the tensioner right here. All right, let's release it. I think the belt is now seated properly. I'm gonna put the connector back on. Here's our smaller hose. Here's our big hose. Well, everything as far as the coolant pump has been reconnected. So now we just have to install the computer back in. Whew, this is a long job. While we're at it and have this range extender electrical machine, or the REME, the REME or whatever unit out, let's take a closer look. So you can see we have a few high voltage electrical connections here. So there's one right here. So that was the one that was a little bit more difficult to remove for me, at least. On this side, we have the 3-phase connector here with the interlock part right here. On this side, we just have electrical plug that goes to one of the ECUs, or the modules that controls this. On this side, we have the ground cable. So that's the ground cable that goes to the chassis. Very important that we screw this back on. And of course, we have the coolant pipes. So this looks like the inlet, and that looks like the outlet to cool down this unit. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Kind of a beefy unit. From my understanding, this is the onboard power generator. So like the inverter, in a way, that takes the internal combustion engine, so the 3-cylinder engine that we have, and the charge that's coming from that, and charges the high voltage battery. So I'm gonna put this back in and hopefully not damage any of the connectors. Reinstalling the REME unit is mostly straightforward, but I would recommend plugging in the 3-phase connector that goes to the starter motor generator first, as well as the low voltage plug underneath the unit. Once you bolt it in, there will be very little space to do so. With the computer loosely in place, the ground wire can be bolted in, the 2-phase high voltage cable reconnected, and the coolant hoses reattached. And obviously, don't forget to reattach those 2 lines we disconnected earlier to drain the coolant under the car. Before reassembling the rest of the car, I will be vacuum filling the coolant lines, bleeding both systems, and checking for leaks. I will be doing that in detail in the next video. So subscribe to the channel to see if this will fix my overheating issue on this BMW i8. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you found it interesting or useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.